Pittsburgh Steelers are adding another name to their defense and really solidifying the final need that they have during free agency in 2025. They are signing former Cleveland Browns and Kansas City Chiefs safety Juan Thornhill, a name that brings 8 interceptions, is 29 years old, and to be honest with you, is a good signing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They did everything they needed to this offseason. They've looked at it outside of quarterback, obviously, but they've looked at it and said, our defense needs to get rid of some of the old, and they have gotten rid of some of the old, and at the same time, they need to bring in new. Okay, well, Thornhill comes in here to replace another veteran that, played well. A lot of respect to Damontae Kazee. I think he's filled that role and what the Pittsburgh Steelers have needed from him very well over the last couple of seasons. But you also look at it and say you could improve. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's time for them to test something else in the market to try to bring some fresh blood in here and to maybe just step up the secondary just a little bit. They've done that with Thornhill. I mean, I look at Thornhill as a guy who's a quality backup that probably comes for cheap, who fits perfectly behind Minkah Fitzpatrick and Deshaun Elliott as a big-time coverage guy who is able to play both positions. I think that's exactly what the Pittsburgh Steelers needed to bring in this offseason. Now, I've looked at names like Marcus Williams, who just got released from the Baltimore Ravens, and Julian Blackmon out of the Indianapolis Colts, and I think both of those names would have worked really, really well, but maybe both of those names were a little bit too expensive. Maybe both of those names were looking for a bigger role than the Pittsburgh Steelers were willing to provide. Instead, they go Thornhill. Again, I think it's a great signing that fits exactly what the Steelers need. They are now left with one move left, and that is defensive tackle. That is what they need to do on the defensive side of the ball. They need to replace Larry Ogunjobi. They need to most likely do it in the NFL draft, and they're good to go. They have their depth. They have their corners. They have their backup corners. They have their inside guys. They've filled their inside linebacker room, and now they have a backup safety to play behind Minkah and Deshaun Elliott. It's a great offseason defensively for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Obviously, you got to answer the quarterback position, and it's a massive position to answer, the biggest position to answer, and the Steelers don't look like they have an answer right now. But if you're just focused on the defensive side of the football, they've done a pretty good job during free agency.